Please do not ask about the echo. I am currently in the bathroom doing this because I know even if I ask my sibling to turn down the music a little bit so I can do this, she is going to say no. But I'm going to explain Pink Rose's backstory as good as I can. There will be some mistaken of words and missaying some things, and if I do, please kindly correct me in the comments. Thank you very much. Let's get to it! I'm going to first be explaining Pink Rose's breed, but also to the characters I mentioned in this little storyline of ours. If I say the character's name wrong, do correct me in the comment again. So, let's start off with the breed. Pink Rose is a mix of a dragon and a wolf. The wolf is an unknown kind due to the color palette of the wolf. And the dragon is magicless, but is based off a blizzard, an ice dragon. Let's see. Let's just skip to what time the mother died. I think it was at the age of 4. I still haven't thought the whole thing through, by the way. I'm still working on the script for that storyline, so this is going to take a minute or two. At the age of 4, her mother died in a garden, but she didn't really watch. She was not paying attention and looking at the buttercups. The buttercups were Pink Rose's favorite, along with her mother's. When she looked around, there was a rake through her mother's head, and she got out through the hole with the gardener's fence. She immediately told her father what happened, and the father went to the garden, shrunk himself a little bit, because in my AU, I'm going to refer this before we get back to the storyline, the dragons can shrink their size whenever they need to, so they're not too big. Back to the story. The father shrunk himself, went into the garden and saw that the mother was already gone, but saw the bloodline. He followed it into the house where they cooked the mother, and he didn't want the kids to know, and said that he already buried the body, so he made a grave, dug it up, refilled it with the dirt, put a cross there, and told the kids to put whatever they wanted at the grave to resemble their mother. Pink Rose went back into the garden quietly, brought the buttercups from the garden and put it at her grave, and the boys did the same but with different flowers. The eldest, who does not have a name, put daisies, and the second oldest, who also does not have a name, put roses. And they all stood there and just downfully lost their faith. Mainly Pink Rose did. Shortly after, she's at the age of 6 now. Her father died due to hunters, humans. And this is also one of the reasons why Pink Rose is not a big fan of them, but she can stand some of them. Like Choco or Choco, however you pronounce it. Pink Rose found her father, told the brothers, and they took his body and buried it right next to the mother's grave, where they shrunk him first and then buried him. And Pink Rose found one of the swords that the hunters used and stabbed it into the grave to where it resembled her father's death. Now at the age of 7, her brothers and her were running through the woods to get away from catchers or hunters. MIU, before we get, back again with a little proclamity of humans. I call them catchers or hunters. Or if I'm really dumb and I don't really want to say anything, I'll also say humans. Back to the story. They were running away from the catchers because their breed was so unique to them. They wanted to test on them a little bit to see what kind of blood they had or how magical they were. The brothers split different ways, and Pink Rose was left by a tree. One of the brothers said, the oldest, said that we'll come back for you, don't worry. And they ran off. Pink Rose didn't find them for days, and she stayed there until an orphan child who was just picking up flowers by the nearby enchanted forest. Again, we're about to get the storyline lesson. The enchanted forest is full of many different creatures, along with fairies, dragons, jade dragons, and amalgamates. Amalgamates run the forest, and they're the deadliest thing in there. If you enter the enchanted forest, you only go near the edge where you belong. Back to the story. An orphan child found her, saw that she was malnourished. And if you don't know what the meaning of malnourishment is where you're not fed right and where bones of your shows. Basically you're just shrinking to where your skeleton will start to show. That's how Pink Rose was. So the orphan child took her to the orphanage, to where she found Choco. Choco was there to comfort her no matter what, and always stuck by her side. At the age of 8, they both finally met Danae and Uni. Uni and Danae, in my storyline, were already best buds and stayed by each other's side. They were both in the orphanage at the same age, and their parents' deaths were kind of related, I think. Uni's parents got shot, and then Danae's parents, I don't know what happened to Danae's parents, but I am gonna figure it out once I can ask her. But back to the storyline. Pink Rose and Choco finally met Uni and Danae, and all 4 of them had each other's backs. Pink Rose was always picked on in the group because of her weird eyes and her weird details on her. Now, this is also with the new design currently of Pink Rose, but again, back to the story. Choco was the protective one over her, and would always tell them to go away or go mess with somebody their own size. And these were teenagers that picked on these ones. And at the time, Pink Rose is like still 7. I don't know how old Choco is. I'm betting like maybe the same age, 7 or 8. I don't know. So, back to the story. Pink Rose was the one always picked on, and never really gained confidence about what she was doing. Usually Uni would try to hype her up with anything that she needed, but Pink Rose was never really happy after both her parents died due to the same causes and she found them dead first. But Uni related a little bit. So Uni was her favorite friend. Danae was the funny one and Choco was the protective one. Pink Rose was the shy one, I guess. Pink Rose was not really the strong one, so she always had her friends to help her out or cheer her up. At the time, Pink Rose let her friend out that she had a butterfly. And we're going to get back to the story in a second, hold on. The butterflies are your emotions. If you have them with you, it means that you're safe. But sometimes with the butterflies, you send them off to follow a loved one to make sure that they're safe, or to follow a friend to make sure that they're doing good. That's what Pink Rose would always do to Choco, and Choco would do the same right back to her. Back to the story. Pink Rose found out she had a butterfly and always kept it with her. She named it Rosemary, because Rosemary was her favorite herb. Back to the story. I guess. I don't know. Pink Rose was always trying her best to be confident. And we're gonna move to a year later because I'm sick of talking about this orphanage crap. At the year of 8, none of them ended up getting adopted at the time. So Uni and Danae had a plan to get out of the orphanage. Pink Rose didn't really like the idea because she thought that they were gonna get caught and she was a little paranoid about it. But Choco was fine with the plan. So all of them made a deal and they did the plan. They got out of the orphanage and everybody was just living, not including the mistress that run the place, and they started a new life. So as a little group of kids, they would always be really wondered by mostly the adults there. The adults would always wonder what were they doing or why they were out of the orphanage. They never asked questions, but this is what happened during the time. Choco would steal food once in a while. Uni would try to earn money by herself. Danae would help. And Pink Rose also tried to earn money with them. What Uni, Danae, and Pink Rose did together was cleaning in big places like china shops or bakeries, just to earn a little bit of cash for themselves. At the age of 9, for Pink Rose, they didn't really have that much, so they were mainly always on the streets. One day, Pink Rose did something really selfish and tried to pickpocket somebody for a little bit of extra money. She got caught, and she was held by the neck for a minute or two because the guy thought that was a smart idea to do to a little girl. And when Choco found out, Choco has these black arms when she's infected, which I think is actually really cool. She used the arms to grab him and throw him to the ground and told Pink Rose to get behind her, and she did. Choco threatened the man that if he didn't go away, that she would call the cops for assault. And they left. Skip it to the age of teenage years. Let's go! Hold on. At the age of 12 for Pink Rose, they finally all four of them got a house together and they were happy about it. Wait, I gotta think of this for a second. Hold on. I got nothing. Okay, this is the end of the story for now. I'll make a part 2 later.